Good morning, guys.
Hey everybody.
So we're on our first little mini trip with Chloe driving in the RV with us.
Wow.
For a little adventure. We're staying close to home just to like test it, make sure that our car seat works fine in the RV and everything, but everything looks good in there. And we're just at Walmart. We just grabbed a couple of groceries for a quick trip as well.
Yeah, we wanted to keep it close to home. We haven't diagnosed the fridge completely yet, but we'll talk on the fridge situation later. So we're hoping we'll have a good quick trip. I bought my fishing license and we're hitting the road.
Let's go. So we don't have any reservations for this week, so we're trying out a first come first serve recreation site here, and if you've watched any of our videos you'll probably recognize it. It's this Kamikin rec site. We're here on a Wednesday and we're here like 11:30, so it's just past checkout time, and we're hoping that we can find a spot here. We're not really sure, but we think it's a pretty optimal time to be finding a spot, so wish us luck.
We got a campsite here in the end, and that was a huge relief. Not having a reservation or anything, we were kind of worried that we would get out here and then find out there was nothing available for us. We had to drive around and scramble last minute, but we got a site here. It looks like there is some shade even, so we're gonna take advantage of that. We have the awning out. That's gonna help cut down on some of the sun on there as well. We were also hoping that there was gonna be lake access, because we are on the lake. We get a bit of a lake breeze, but there's actually no path to the lake, so that's a bit of a disappointment. We'll probably take a walk down the road here later and go fishing that way. There's a little day use campsite spot that you can take advantage of. I have my fishing license now. I bought a lure. I bought a float. So we have a float and some of those little glittery marshmallow type baits. So catching a rainbow trout would be pretty sweet while we're out here. But it's gonna be a nice little trip out here. We're gonna give the fridge a try. We've done a few little things to it. I'll go over that a bit later on here, so stay tuned if you're interested in our last video's RV problems we mentioned, if you haven't seen that one. But kind of go over all the different things we've tried and where we're at right now with it. And otherwise we're gonna kind of settle in here. Chloe's down there playing with Alysha right now, and it's looking like a pretty good campsite here. I should mention too, this isn't a provincial park. It's a BC recreation site, which is basically a forestry site where it's a little less maintained. You're not gonna have flush toilets. You're not gonna find showers. You're not gonna have any little like water stations to get your fresh water. So definitely bring your water jugs out here with you when you're coming out. But you still get to use the garbage. You still have outhouses. And this one is actually $15 a night. Some of the ones we've stayed at, like the Barnes Lake recreation site we love out by Merritt, that one was always free. This one has a host on site who actually lives here year round, if I'm not mistaken. We noticed that when we've been out here before in the off seasons, and I think they're always here, but they actually charge you 15 bucks a night, and they maintain the site, make sure people aren't partying, staying within quiet times and that kind of stuff still, and take care of you there. So pretty nice. But I'm gonna go show you here quickly the lake spot too. I can't believe this campsite's been here as long as we could possibly remember. It's been here decades. And out of all this time, no one's made a path from our site, which backs right on the lake, down to the lake. I couldn't believe it. Check this out. So I figured back in here, and then it looks like you go down here. That's the host site over there. They've got all sorts of RVs and vehicles, but they got a good setup going. Take the path down this way. There's the lake. It looks kind of far in the camera, but it's actually pretty close. But look how dense all that vegetation is. There's a different camper site over there as well, a tenter. And I just figured there must be some kind of access in here, but apparently there is not.
Alright, so it's been getting a little hot again in like the afternoon here. I mean, we've just been sitting outside in the breeze and trying to cool down, but we decided to fill up a bath of like lukewarm water to let Chloe play in and cool down a little bit. And I think she loves it. We are pretty lucky that our site here is in the shade, mostly. I mean, there's some sun coming through, but man, if we were in one of those spots by the lake that was fully open, that would not be fun.
Bath was a good idea. It definitely helped Chloe cool down a little bit there, but we're reading at 34 degrees Celsius outside right now, which I think is like, I don't know, mid 90s Fahrenheit for you. So we figured we're at a recreation campsite right now, and they don't actually usually have any like posted rules per generator. You just have to stay within the quiet times, but they're a little more lenient on that since they're not official provincial parks or anything fancy. So we're taking it here. We heard someone have their generator running down there, so we're gonna run ours as well. It's 4 o'clock right now. I'm waiting until 6 o'clock to give the RV a cool down. Just really want to get Chloe cooled down instead of having her on the heat too much. It's warm. So we're gonna run the generator there, take advantage of that little bit of extra air conditioning. And then we're still hoping to get out fishing tonight here. Hopefully it gets cool and the fish get jumping. In case you missed our last vlog, we kind of had a bit of a fridge cooling issue. It's been cooling really well on electric for the most part. And then on propane, the freezer stays cold, but the fridge does not. So we've been troubleshooting that a little bit this week here now. We tried putting a fan on the outside, a huge turbo one on two ends, blew air through, didn't make a difference. We cleaned the orifice, which lets more gas go into the burner spot that I cleaned last video where you can see that fire. And I think our fire's a little bit bigger. It's more audible, which is something you want to hear for. So I think we do have a bit more improved flame to get that heating element going. But we still are having a bit of a warm fridge here today. We're kind of just wondering at this point if it's ambient temperature. Yeah, it does a good job cooling the fridge when we're plugged into electric, so we've always just thought the electric does a better job cooling the fridge, which it still might by a little bit potentially. But the other variable there is the fact that when we use the air conditioning, we keep our RV set to say 72 degrees, 74 degrees in there with Chloe. So it's a pretty cool environment that the fridge is already in. I think these absorption fridges are supposed to cool to a certain degree below the environment they're in. Like right now it's getting pretty hot out here honestly, and our RV was showing like 92 degrees Fahrenheit on the wall. So you got to imagine if an absorption fridge is just supposed to lower that number down by say 20 degrees, that would still put your fridge at 70 degrees. I mean, again, I don't know what the numbers are for this, but absorption fridges might just be the problem in the hot environment. No other plans otherwise, but we're gonna keep diagnosing it a little more. We might look into the regulator. We might kind of Google around a little bit more and hopefully we can find something that'll help improve it. I imagine installing some fans like some of you mentioned out there from the Love Your RV guy. Something like that would probably help as well, make a little bit of a difference, but as it stands right now, no new leads, might just be ambient temperature. You might have to just look for more hookup sites when it's super hot. That'd be kind of nice for Chloe anyways. And that's our fridge update for now.
Okay, so after a bit of deliberation, a bummer of news, but we're actually going to be heading home. It's still midday and it's still super hot here. We looked at the forecast again and it's updated and it's going to be staying 32 degrees until 8 o'clock tonight. We already ran the generator for some AC and generator hour wasn't until like 6 even. So we'd have to wait till 6 to run it again technically without breaking the rules, and then pretty much just stay in the AC for as long as possible. And then even at 8 o'clock when generator hour is finished, it's still gonna be 32 degrees, and I just feel really bad for Chloe, honestly. It's obviously fine for us. We wouldn't care about like really being that hot. We would find ways to overcome it, but we've just been spending all day pretty much just trying to make Chloe comfortable, and we can tell that she's getting a little hot and her face is a bit rosy, and I just don't want her to be uncomfortable at all. I mean, honestly, she's completely fine. We know she's fine, but like it just kills me inside to see her be even just a little too hot, and it honestly isn't too enjoyable for us right now. Like, we're fine too, but we were just spending all of our time like putting cold cloths on her and putting her in her bath and taking her out and going inside and turning on the AC against the rules. All that kind of stuff. So we've decided to head home for the night. We did have a good time out here while we were out here, getting out in nature and taking out the RV and stuff and checking out this campsite, because we've actually never been to this campground when it's like camping season. We've always come during the off season, and the last time we were actually here was in March, I think it was, when I was still 9 months pregnant with Chloe, and there's still snow, and the lake was frozen, and I mean, it was a really fun time then too, but also not the most comfortable because it was so cold. So I feel bad not giving this campsite a fair shot, but it is what it is. I think we're gonna start packing up here. Alright, well that's gonna be it for this vlog, guys. Sorry it was kind of a weird one with us having to leave and stuff, but I think we made the right call. It was really hot and getting hotter and staying hot for a long time. And also, I forgot to mention earlier, it's really smoky. There's a lot of wildfires in the area, and a lot more new ones have started, and there's some big ones, and the smoke is really settling in. And I mean, I think it's also making it really hot and like trapping heat in, maybe. Or
this is not nice breathing it either for Chloe.
That's what I was gonna say. It's not very nice to breathe in, and yeah. Yeah,
we do appreciate having you here, though. Whole lot more good camping coming at you. We have another new provincial park coming up that we've never been to in our life, an area that we've barely ever camped at. So we're excited for that coming up next year. And otherwise, we have a few good hookup sites coming up, and a few big loops are getting real close as well. So whole lot of camping, whole lot of fun times with Chloe, and we will see you in the next video, friends.
See you guys.
Yep, take care.